So it's time to head into another Kakurega, because they're always fun. So our challenge here is not quite as horrible as it could be, particularly because a really large Unite bomb generally kills a lot of enemies very quickly. It's pretty awesome. The thing is, you're going to want to do that to try and get any sort of damage in on this Dura. It's going to be the tactic you're going to have to go with. Now, there was a little kind of manoeuvre that I pulled off just a little bit into this when I'd lost my teammates. If you draw a Wonderliner and run along and kind of sweep the Wonderliner over your teammates, then you can actually pick them up sooner than when they kind of automatically return to your team after kind of restoring their energy. So if you ever kind of have lost your teammates and kind of feel you desperately need to get them back, that is one way of speeding up the process, which is pretty awesome. And now I'm just kind of getting all fancy. It's just like, yeah, let's completely manipulate the multi-unite morphs, because it's just fun. And also, I really like the Wonder Rising for Unite Claw, because, like, seriously, you just get to stay up in the air and spin almost endlessly. I mean, you do have to stop eventually, but it's still just fun to kind of spin in the air for so long. No, that wasn't what I was intending to do. I just wanted to get my wonderful ones back so that I could get over. Thank you. Now, I think that one of the reasons that kind of your wonderful ones tend to switch back to the main team is because of Kakuregas. At least I've noticed that it really does happen when you go into them, and I think it's because when you go into the Kakurega, you don't get to bring all of your wonderful ones into it. You are given a set of wonderful ones, but you will have the main wonderful ones, so red, pink, yellow, green, blue, black. And so then when you come out of the Kakurega, those wonderful ones are your set ones. So it keeps that, because it's simpler. Although it does really irritatingly mean that you have to go through the hassle of resetting your wonderful ones all over again. And I believe that kind of somewhat shortly we are going to come up against a certain something that you was teased a little bit earlier, but you may not be quite expecting. Either way, there's a sneaky little Geathjerk file hidden in there. It's not really doing a whole lot. But this is something that you're going to have to kind of do to try and get some extra goodies, is make use of that fire and charge your way all the way down the road to get all of the lanterns. You don't have to get all the lanterns, but doing the lanterns means that they're more likely to kind of stay lit. And if you kind of do that, then you will end up facing an Orgon. At least I seem to recall them being called Orgons. If not, then my brain has just decided to give up with enemy names unless I do really know them. Like the Duras and Suridura and Dogu and Chudagu and so on and so forth. But I have to say, so much the juggle. That was pretty fun. Although what's rather weird about this fight is that at this point you've faced quite a few of these guys, so they're not kind of the greatest challenge in the world to you. So they could afford to kind of throw two at you at once. But they decided not to do that. They instead decided that it would be an excellent idea to make you fight two separately. I'm guessing it might be something to do with the size of the arena, but I'm pretty sure that we have faced down these guys in smaller arenas, so I don't think you can quite get away with that excuse for why we aren't having a slightly more challenging fight. I mean, it could be because we had to face off against the De Arcani a little bit earlier, which was a brand new enemy that was potentially challenging, but really on the grand scheme of things not. And also a Kakurega, so that could be why they decided to make things simpler. But if you complete that mission and then head back here, there is a secret mission! And you have to face down a Tunique, because they're always fun. Now, I think the kind of the decision to call this place Kaurul is partly kind of just continuing the whole Zelda link with, so you've got the blah rule element, which is pretty awesome. But I mean, I can't kind of try and realise any other reasons as to why it is the way it is. Unfortunately, my literary discovery skills aren't quite that good when you aren't being thrown kind of actual words. It's kind of like how reading Lewis Carroll's a bit can be a bit challenging, like Alice in Wonderland, because it does use so much kind of nonsense language. So you can get the gist of things, but it can be more difficult than normal to understand what's going on, because there's a level of unpacking the words that I am just not quite good enough at. Especially because a lot of, well, the majority of these words are kind of Japanese in origin. At least I'm pretty sure they are, considering the one that I do know because somebody on a forum was kind enough to point it out. Either way, damn its whip. It's always the whips that get you. Vulcan's whip was one of the more difficult things to avoid. This guy's whip's one of the more difficult things to avoid. It's just all the whips. Cortedre evidently decided to get its own back for being so not quite as helpful as other weapons in Bayonetta, so it decided to come back full force in the wonderful 101 and show you what whips are made of. I don't think I actually explained what the energy converter does, which is rather silly of me. So basically, if ever you kind of get any health / Unite energy pickups, you will then get back either health or Unite gauge energy. And what the energy converter does is that no matter what kind of you get back, if one is full, you will receive the other. So if you have a full Unite gauge but not full health, then if you kind of keep attacking, then basically you will get health back. And the same goes kind of the other way around. If you have full health, then attacking will get your Unite gauge back up. And I am going completely the wrong way for this. It's like, why did I decide to be so silly and run this way? Because it's not this way. The thing where we need to take it is by the fire that we made use of. You see, right there, it was not difficult to get there at all. But having done kind of all of this and entering here and getting our well-deserved goods, which is a wonderful one, because we always need more wonderful ones. This time it's Wonder Treasure, whose sword looks somewhat like Honedge, if I'm honest. I'm sure that wasn't quite intentional. They were just trying to do awesome sword designs. But I can see certain elements of the Pokemon in there. And now, having done all of that, it is time to finish Operation 006A. Although, just before we do that, we are going to try and save everybody that we can along this path, which does require us to draw another Unite hand and somewhat slowly run all the way down. Although I really don't think I had to do that, because I believe there is a fire kind of right nearby. You see? There. Right there. I didn't need to go all that way back, but oh well. It's better than missing entire things like I did with all of the wonderful ones that we missed in Operation 003 and 5. Because that's always a very embarrassing thing to happen. Either way, we get to here and oh look! She's back.
Well, if it isn't my old flames.
Vijounne, prepare to feel this.
I've been meaning to tell you something, Baby Blue. Seeing you so clearly enamored with me reminded me of someone I once knew. Another pathetic earthling who walked blindly into one of my traps.
Excuse me?
Blue, she's just trying to get a rise out of you.
To think that little Baby Blue would grow up to find his way back to me as nothing but a bigger baby. Your brother must be raining down tears of joy from heaven! His brother?
That does it!
Team, unite up!
Roger!
So, you can't actually do anything to hurt the Odaku here. You just gotta run and not fall into the ice cold water. Which is a bit irritating, but what the hey. Also, make sure you send a Wonderliner over here to these guys, because there's a wonderful one here, and you can miss him. It's Wonder Dynamite. I believe that was the guy that I was thinking of, kind of, in Operation 005, although there is a guy similar to that, in a similar sort of location to that, in 005. And, oh, we've got another bottle cap, which was not quite expecting, if I'm honest. But it is something that you just tend to pick up as you play through the game, because it's just one of those. I believe you've got to pick up 1,000 batteries in total, which isn't that difficult in the grand scheme of things.
Stop! It's a trap! Blue!
I'll take care of Blue. The rest of you head to the super reactor. Alice, take us down immediately.
Roger.
And with Blue getting lost in the water, that's our operation done and dusted.
Well done, team.
And fun as it was, we are about to enter a rather long level with 2 rather irritating moments in it. But you will see them when we get to it. First off, there's not a lot we can really buy, apart from maybe item catcher, if I so chose to do so. But I think we do have enough to get a wonderful card, which we are totally going to do. Not quite sure what we're going to buy with it, but we are certainly doing it, because I want those cards. I mean, it's a bit of a waste in the grand scheme of things, because after you play through the game enough times, you will easily get enough O-parts to get everything, but I wanted that speed charge blocked now, because it's going to help me out in the long run. But either way, let's move on to Operation 006B.